Hey, Sofrito Lovers, this is Ben Ramos bringing you this week's mukbang from my palatial home here in the Northwest Bronx. The Bronx is the home of hip hop and salsa. I am bringing you some Golden Corral. I've got some mashed potatoes, I've got some Brussels sprouts, some corn, and back here is some fried chicken. I have never eaten food from Golden Corral. I got 2 chicken legs there. Seamless. Decided to call Seamless, decided to check out Golden Corral. I've never had their food before. Buen Provecho, mashed potatoes with some weird brown gravy. Let's see. Interesting potatoes. Kind of a taste test plus a mukbang plus a story time. One more time. I'm sure sometime in the lifespan of this mashed potatoes, it was a potato. I don't know when it was a potato, but I know somewhere in the process between it being a potato and this mashed potatoes, it, it went through some processing. I bet it used to be powder for a while. I don't know. I get that powdered, fake, little bit of a cafeteria vibe from these potatoes. We got some Brussels sprouts. I was going to say Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts. Pretty good. Not the freshest, but pretty good. I'm a big critic today. I'm sorry, you guys. Sofrito Lovers, I hope you're doing well. I am doing great. Had an interesting walk tonight. Came home from work. Did a couple of hours in the office. School opens up in New York City again next week on Monday the 7th, but we have office hours. So I like to work from my office and not necessarily home. I think I've said this a bunch of times. I don't like work intruding into my personal space. I got some corn now. Okay. Interesting corn. Okay. So came home from work, hung out for a little bit. Then I had to go run some errands in Riverdale, which is a pretty close neighborhood to where I live. I live in a neighborhood in the Bronx called Kingsbridge Heights. And I'm close to another neighborhood called Riverdale. So I went to Riverdale to run some errands on Broadway. It's a full moon tonight, and I'm pretty sure that's brought out the crazies. Let me taste some of this. Oh, there's some ketchup here that it came for the chicken. So I got some mulitos here. All right. I wouldn't say the chicken is bursting with flavor because it's not, but se deja comer, like it's good. It's all right. Okay, I am all over the place. Please forgive me. It's a full moon out today, and apparently I came across a werewolf on Broadway in Riverdale. I'm not joking. The only logical explanation for this person is that he's a werewolf. The full moon activated the transformation. I was walking by the Blink Fitness that's on Broadway. I was walking on Broadway heading back towards to where I live. And this dude walked out of the Blink Fitness gym. Wearing a tank top, shorts, sweat bandana, on his phone, yelling as loud as he can on the phone. I mean, I'm sure he was having a conversation, but he was like screaming. Not looking where he was going. I was trying to avoid him because I can tell he was moving as quickly as he could in a forward direction, but not looking around him. So I'm trying to dodge him, but I wasn't able to dodge him well. Slams into me. I, of course, say I'm sorry. I mean, I really shouldn't be that sorry. He's the one who's not looking where he's going and moving at an incredible speed. And I'm trying to avoid him, but it just didn't happen. Slams into me, gets a lot of his sweat on the sleeve of my coat. Thank God it didn't touch me. He kind of got off the phone. He was talking on his cell and was like, hey, watch where you're going. And I was like, no, you slammed into me. I was trying to avoid you. And he was like, oh, whatever, and fuck you. That type of nonsense. Mind you, the reason why I call him a werewolf was that he is the hairiest human being I have ever seen in my life. At least I've ever seen three-dimensionally in front of me. This dude's body hair, no joke. Like the hair, okay, so it's really not that hot. I guess maybe he works out in the gym with as little clothing as possible. Again, he was wearing shirts and tank top. It is not shirt and tank top weather in New York City with a bandana, pero así son los gringos. Los gringos hacen eso cada rato. So he's this like pale looking white dude covered in hair. I'm talking about, like, you see the thickness of my hair on my head? That was like on his chest, on his arms, down his legs. I mean, like, I'm not body shaming anyone. I'm a hairy fat guy. I'm not body shaming. I'm not trying to say anyone is ugly. I'm just making an observation that this man could shave his arms, donate the hair, and they could make like cancer wigs for children at St. Jude's. Like, I'm serious. Not shading anyone, not saying, I'm just pointing out a fact. If we shaved this back hair, there would be weaves for everyone. So like he slams into me, leaves like a big old giant sweat stain on my coat sleeve because he was covered in wet matted hair. And then he like growls at me that it's my fault. And I'm like, no, you slammed into me. I was trying to avoid you. Told me to F off. And I was like, I don't engage. I really don't engage with nonsense. If you come at me really hard and you're, being very belligerent and not letting it go, then I come back at you. But normally in New York City, I've learned, when people act stupid, I may say something, I keep it moving. I don't care. So he said, F you and all this other nonsense. And I just did the quick, like, your mother. And then I went, walking away. But like, I could not help but I looked behind me and he was on the phone and he was kind of like yelling at his friend again about how I bumped into him. And he was like wearing a tank top and I could see how like his hairline from the back of his hair merged into his back hair. I was like, yo, the werewolves are snarling on Broadway in Riverdale. Okay, folks, this is my tune tumbler, one of my X-Men tune tumbler, and it's full of sugar-free tropical punch. It's one of those ice. Amazing. I've never had this. I just recently tried this drink. I love it. This tropical punch. So good. It kind of reminds me of Hawaiian punch. If someone took Hawaiian punch and put more carbonated water to water it down, that's what it reminds me of. That's why I really like it. When I was a kid, besides being a big Coca-Cola freak, I loved Hawaiian punch. Oh yeah. It is a full moon and the hairy, snarly, nasty yuppies who live in Riverdale are out there getting out of the gym and being nasty to people. It's New York City. We're not the nicest bunch of people. But, you know. Folks, this corn, straight out of the tin, straight out of the can. Nothing like paying for canned corn. Not even sweet. The Brussels sprouts are okay. The chicken, the mulito is not that bad. Never had, never eaten, never heard of, barely heard of Golden Corral. I think David knows more about it than I do because David loves all those chain restaurants. Once again, for the millionth time, David grew up in Southern California in the suburbs. So you know how like in the burbs, chain restaurants rule. The mulito de pollo estaba bueno. It was a good little chicken leg. I'm gonna start on number 2. Again, some ketchup with it. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. Had a great productive day at work. Really good productive day at work. Got a lot done. I can't wait until those kids come back. I want to see these kids. I want to hang out with these kids as much as I can, given the realities of certain situations. But looking forward to the school reopening and some normalcy coming back. This whole working from home thing doesn't work for me. And this whole like my whole day being an administrative thing doesn't work for me either. Okay, Golden Corral. I'm not really that impressed. I don't think I'll be ordering again. I mean, if I want canned corn, I open up a can that I have, you know, in my kitchen. The potatoes, the mashed potatoes, they're okay. They're like that cafeteria food. You know, this definitely came, it feels like and tastes like it came from a box. No shade to the lovers of powdered mashed potatoes. You do you. I'm not shaming you. I'm not trying to be shady, but you know, I'm not the biggest fan. I kind of like my mashed potatoes to have actually been a potato at one point. I mean, these were a potato at one point, but all the processing kind of made it the dried out, grainy consistency that it is now. I know, right? Soy tremendo criticón. I'm such a critic, but I've never had Golden Corral before. And there's a couple of other pieces of chicken that are not here that I'm probably going to eat tomorrow. You know, I paid $30+ for this. You know, I'm expecting a little better quality, but it's a chain, and some chains quality is not the big deal. Not the highest priority. So mi gente, running into werewolves in Riverdale. Eating canned corn, powdered mashed potato. Hey, despite it all, It was a great day. Still planning. If you remember my last mukbang last week, I'm going to Puerto Rico in the spring. At least I hope I am. Things are not things are not good there, and they're getting worse. Maybe this spring little food tour, friend tour, family tour is probably going to turn into a summer. Hell, maybe even fall of 2021, who knows? Things are not that good. Kind of like this canned corn, it's not that good. Yeah. Sofrito Lovers, thank you for having a little meal with me. I hope your meal was better than mine. It was aight. Let me not act like I hated it, because I'm still eating it and I am going to finish it. But that's the last time I pay any money for anything from Golden Corral. Sofrito Lovers, I hope you had a better meal than I did. I am still planning my Puerto Rico visit. Cross your fingers for me. Chant, pray, believe, send me well wishes that it'll happen in the spring. I'm starting to feel like it's going to happen in the summer, if not the fall. Sofrito Lovers, please follow all the guidelines. Things are getting horrifying everywhere, including here in New York City. Follow the guidelines, folks. Get the PPE. Do what you got to do. It's not that hard. It's actually pretty damn simple. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Como siempre, go out there. Go have some culinary adventures. Go taste for yourself. Como siempre, mucho, mucho amor. Please take care of yourselves and each other.